I had spent weeks planning something special for Valentine's Day. My wife had been working late nights at her office, always talking about how stressed she was, so I thought surprising her at work would make her happy. I bought a bouquet of her favorite flowers and even booked 2 plane tickets for a short romantic trip to Bali. I wanted her to know that despite our busy lives, I still cared deeply for her and wanted to make time for us. When I walked into her office building, my heart was racing with excitement. I pictured her face lighting up when she saw me standing there with the flowers. I imagined her colleagues smiling at how thoughtful her husband was. I went up to her floor, holding the bouquet and the envelope with the tickets, rehearsing what I would say. As I reached her office door, I could hear voices inside. At first, I thought it was just another meeting, but the sound of laughter caught me off guard. It wasn't her usual professional tone, it was softer, almost playful. I hesitated, then pushed the door open slightly to peek inside. What I saw froze me in place. My wife was sitting on her desk, leaning close to a man I recognized as her colleague. His hand rested on her thigh, and she wasn't pushing him away. In fact, she was smiling, her face glowing in a way I hadn't seen in months. My chest tightened, and I felt the flowers tremble in my grip. I wanted to believe I was imagining it, but the way she kissed him left no room for doubt. It wasn't a mistake or an accident. It was intentional. My throat went dry, and the envelope with the tickets slipped from my hand onto the carpet. Neither of them noticed at first. They were too lost in each other. Finally, I pushed the door open wider, and the sound startled them. My wife's face went pale when she saw me standing there. The man quickly stepped back, muttering something under his breath. She stammered, "It's not what it looks like," but her words were empty. I had already seen enough. I didn't yell or cause a scene. Instead, I placed the flowers on her desk, right beside where she had been sitting with him. "Happy Valentine's Day," I said quietly, my voice trembling but steady enough to cut through the silence. She tried to reach for me, but I stepped back. Her colleagues in the nearby offices had started to notice the commotion. I could feel their eyes on us, but I didn't care. I bent down, picked up the tickets from the floor, and held them up for her to see. These were for us. A chance to start over. "But I guess you already chose where you'd rather be." She broke down, begging me to listen, swearing it was just a moment of weakness, that she still loved me. But the betrayal was too raw, too deep. I couldn't look at her the same way anymore. My love, my trust, my years of commitment, shattered in a single moment. I walked out of that office building without another word, leaving her standing there in tears. The flowers, once meant to symbolize love, became a symbol of everything broken between us. People stared as I passed by, but I kept walking, my mind numb and my heart heavy. That evening, instead of celebrating Valentine's with my wife, I sat alone in our living room, staring at the empty chair across from me. The silence was deafening. I thought about all the late nights, all the excuses, all the times she had been too tired. It all made sense now. In the days that followed, she kept calling, sending messages, even showing up at home, begging me to forgive her. But the image of her with him replayed in my head every time I closed my eyes. I couldn't erase it, no matter how hard I tried. Trust, once broken, doesn't come back easily. Eventually, I filed for divorce. It wasn't the ending I had ever imagined, but it was the only path left for me. Valentine's Day, which was supposed to bring us closer, instead became the day I saw her true face. And though it hurt, it also set me free from a love that was no longer real. After the divorce was finalized, she tried to reach out several times, but I kept my distance. She had chosen a path that destroyed everything we built together, and I wasn't willing to live in the shadow of betrayal. Slowly, I started focusing on myself, on healing, on finding peace, and on rediscovering the man I was before all the lies. Months later, I heard from mutual friends that she regretted everything, that the man she risked our marriage for had already left her. She admitted she lost the only person who truly cared for her. But by then, her regret meant nothing. I had already closed that chapter of my life, leaving her to live with the consequences of her choices.